Hey everyone, welcome to Reverse Homesteading. It is early and I was just about to show you pollinating my zucchini flower, or my squash flower, and I found this little guy standing guard. How cool is he? About the same age as the ones that were under the nectarine and the apricot net, guarding against little predatory creatures that might want to eat my produce. They do sway when they're nervous. It's a praying mantis. So I'll leave him alone. He's looking a bit nervous. But good on you, little one. Thank you. Now I've got to find a way of opening the net without disturbing him. I could move him, but he looks pretty happy there. Very cool. Another cool thing about gardens which are organic. I'm sorry if you don't like bugs, but there are good and bad bugs, so I'm just celebrating the good bugs. The plan was to pollinate this zucchini flower here with this male flower here, but neither of them are open. So you can see the male flower has a spindly little stem and no fruit at the back, and obviously this already has a fruit here, but we are potentially going to lose that zucchini if it's not pollinated properly, and it's not opening. It's early in the morning before the proper sunrise time, and usually by now you'll have some flowers open and they're not opening. I noticed that yesterday. I thought I was just there too late, but the problem we could be having is excessive heat stress, which obviously we have had a lot of heat stress on the plants lately, even though these ones have been under a net at least for the last few days. So I can force it, so I might try to pollinate it while the flowers are still closed, or it could be just because they're young plants that they're not mature enough to open. So I'll show you the process and just pretend the flowers are open. So I might be able to save this zucchini from dropping off. So the only zucchini I have to pollinate at the moment is this one. So I have picked the male flower. I don't always pick it. I just use the paintbrush, but just for expediency today I'm going to pick it, and I'll just open up the flower by ripping it off. So there you go, just rip the top off the flower and that exposes the stamen, so that makes it a lot easier to pollinate. We will just try to gently open up the other flower. So usually damage the flower when you do this. It may or may not matter. This one seems to be fairly flexible for now. So I'll just open it up enough, to get the job done. There you go. I think I've ripped it though. Oh well. Just make sure this is getting where it needs to get, so you can see. Well, there you go, I've ripped it properly. We're saving a zucchini here. So we'll just do what we can, and hopefully we will get our first zucchini at this location. We have another flower from the cucurbit family, the squash family. This is my spaghetti squash, which had some failed seeds like the other seeds that hadn't worked. And as I have done previously, I'm going to keep taking flowers off this because, well, especially as these are just male flowers. I shouldn't say just male flowers, but the early flowers on any plant like this are male, and they're not needed. There are no female flowers, but the main thing is I want this plant to get big and lush before it has little spaghetti squash to give me. Not sure if we'll manage that before the frost, but we shall see. Just do the best you can. In with my coffee cup as I was about to pick it up again, I found I have a bean. These are small little bush beans. Well, they're small at the moment. There's a second or third planting of these, sadly. as per my other seed woes. This is a slippery silk bean, so I believe you can eat them at this stage, but not sure. But anyway, I'll put it on the screen. These are grown for their hard beans, which look like kidney beans, and as I've said before, they only need about 20 minutes of boiling. You don't need to pre-soak the dried beans, and they're fantastic flavour. Really nutty and nice and almost sweet in my experience. So I've got a lot more flowers on there. These are easy care. It doesn't matter that they're under a net because they pollinate themselves. So I'm pretty happy to get those going. I might put a little stake in there, but usually they don't need staking. They just need to grow a bit bigger, I think. Seeing as we've got a bean already, I'll leave it and it will become a lovely burgundy pinky red colour once it's mature. So you still let it dry on the plant before you harvest the beans. There are always things to do for gardening, inside or outside, and my current long-term task, I say long-term because it's been out for a week or two on the table, is sorting out my seeds. I really need to reduce my amount of seeds. Look at them all. A lot of those are just buying beans in a big bag and planting them as seed, which you can do in the supermarket. You don't know what you're going to get, but it seems to work for the most part. And this is my end game. These little photo containers, and they'll have whatever the category is on them. I think I've got all my categories right. Because I have so many seeds, I was going to need, another 2 or 3 of these. But as I've told a lot of you this year, I have been planting my older seeds early in the season, so I have time to replant if they don't work, and a lot of them are not working. I tend to keep too many pumpkin or squash seeds because they seem to be, so prolific. Let's just keep lots of them. And I really don't have time to go to a seed swap to swap the fresh ones. And these will need me to take the seeds out of their little colourful packets, which I love to see, obviously, like all of these. And I'm taking photos of the front and the back so that when I plant seeds you can see the pretty pictures, just they won't be on the seeds. So what they will be in is a little packet like this. What they are, this is actually something that sprouted itself, so I'm not really sure what it is, so I've got a question mark there. And the date I collected the seed, and OS is own seed. So I will have things in packets like this now, which are not my own seed. I used to know because they were in a commercial packet. So now they won't have the packet. I'll probably keep a lot of the foil lined packets if they're good enough not to let the seeds run everywhere. Because they get a bit of a fail sometimes, but maybe I will put everything in here and then they'll all just go in here. And whenever I do a video, hopefully I will have all of my photos to refer to so that you will know what I'm doing with my seeds if you don't know that variety. So these little containers are what I'm putting my bags of beans into, and these actually are my own seeds. They're so prolific, the snake beans. So happy to get some up. They love the hot weather. They're subtropical or tropical, and it's not until the nights get really warm here down in temperate regions that it really helps them to take off. So yet again, growing something that shouldn't be in this area. But I have a couple more, so bags of beans or my own seeds, I should have enough space. So I'm still saving some dried seeds here. I am keeping my plant labels in categories, so all the cucumbers will have tags in there, so I can just reuse them. As I've said before, the 2B or 4B grey lead pencils, they work really well on the labels and they last years and years and years. Even a permanent marker does not last in the sun and the rain, but it seems that a grey lead pencil does. So keeping this up to date. If you want to see my latest seeds that I've sown, I'll put a link here. They're sort of last ditch effort for the summer. Ones that were probably more applied to my tropical channel. I used to live in the tropics, so that link will take you to my other channel. If you're in Melbourne or in a temperate climate, it's a bit late in the southern hemisphere to plant a lot of those seeds, so it's just make or break really that I planted those. So I thought they weren't really something we should put on here, so it might encourage other people to take risks like that too. Anyway, it will be autumn or fall before we know it, so that will be my next seed planting video on this channel, so I'll share that with you when I do that. But for now, I hope you're having fun in your garden or with your seeds or whatever you're doing. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.